Most intriguing guest with us today, a man who has never done our show before. In fact, he's almost done no television at all that I know of, particularly live television, yet he is considered by many as one of the most influential figures in the rock star spectrum today.
That's true.
His albums are certified gold almost before they're shipped, maybe even before they're cut.
I would say, yes.
But his first musical efforts went unnoticed until he appeared on stage like this. Now,
Do they know who that is?
oh, no,
Did you feel
no,
it?
they'll catch on as we
Okay.
get them. Yeah, all right. Well, I think there are a lot of them there. There are a lot of them right there. But today we're going to get a glimpse of the real man behind those pictures. Please welcome the incredible David Bowie.
Whoa.
Passed by so slowly, the days fell on their knees. Maybe I'll take something to help me. Won't someone take after me? There's always some change in the weather. This time I know we could get it together. If you would stay here tonight, that would be crazy tonight. Stay. That's what I meant to say, or do something. But what I never say is stay. This time I really meant to so bad. This time, 'cause you can never really tell when somebody wants something you want to. Life can be vague when it sends someone new. This time tomorrow I'll know what to do. I know it's happened to you. Stay. That's what I meant to say, or do something. But what I never say is stay. This time I really meant to so bad. This time, 'cause you can never really tell when somebody wants so much to stay. That's what I meant to say, or do something. But what I never say is stay. This time I really meant to so bad. This time, 'cause you can never really tell when somebody wants something you want to. Stay.
ask you something. What does it feel like when you finish a number like that and you hear those screams? That's got to be something else. Something else.
Oh, it's my drummer.
Oh, he did it?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's gone. What a shame.
Yes.
No, I mean, you didn't have anything to do with it? The boy singer had nothing to do?
Yes, of course I did.
No. How do you feel after a moment like that? You give so much of yourself.
But no, not really. Every time I think that I should do it again.
Do you?
Yes.
I think we all do.
I never, hello?
Hello.
Excuse me.
There are so many David Bowies. In the opening of the show, I showed some photographs.
Yeah.
Rather bizarre photographs, some of them. And I don't know how much of them were doctored up with electronic lighting and that.
Yeah.
Have you got those photographs?
Can I see them again?
Yeah. I want you to see them. And I want you to tell me about each one of those David Bowies. Now,
That was.
They love that.
Yeah. That was a character from a sort of a non-rock concept thing called Diamond Dogs. He was called Halloween Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? And that one. Okay.
That was, well, I don't know. I've been living in New York for some time, so I was wearing a lot of Puerto Rican clothing.
Yeah. But, David, you're inspired. I mean, there is no set costume. There is no set feeling for the concert that you'll give as David Bowie. Whatever it is that you're influenced by at the moment, wherever you happen to be ethnically, that...
It tends to be like that, yes. I'm easily saturated. I get... I'm very sort of faddy, very flirty.
Yeah.
I'm quite a rock fan. I get influenced by other bands, other artists, and I tend to sort of steal things from them.
You're being very modest.
No,
a
not
lot
at
of them
all.
steal
No.
things for you?
I think that's one of the most important elements of rock and roll.
Interestingly enough, some of the moves today and the costume that you have on today,
Yeah.
which isn't really a costume,
Yeah.
I think of as being the sort of thing that was from the 30s, really.
Well,
is that the feeling of it?
Yes, very much.
The music wasn't.
But there's a sort of a European wave happening, and a lot of the sort of the stylization is. I've got a favourite songwriter and band in England called Roxy Music. There's a character called Brian Ferry, who I think is probably spearheading some of the best music that's come out of England in years.
We're taking a lot of time talking. I'm dying. There's so many things I want to know about you, and I've got. Oh, I like that. I've got Henry and Nancy over there, and they've got a bunch of questions they want to talk to you about too.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to find out a lot more about David Bowie. So we'll be back right after this with some. He's the David Bowie of Happy Days.
I'm a great fan of Fonzie, and I have a lot of admiration for Henry as an actor as well.
Yeah, so
Well,
have I.
that's lovely. Thank
So
you.
have I.
I'm very flattered because I certainly can return the compliment. You know, in everything that we do, in whether you're a singer or an actor or a dancer, that we talked about this backstage for a second. I just had a chance to meet David. Concentration is of the essence in the structure.
Influenced by this because you had been in New York and the Puerto Rican costume had fascinated you.
Yeah.
But do you feel that this keeps you with the times or way ahead of the times?
Well, I started as a painter.
As an artist?
Yes. But I found I was a natural ham. I just hammed everything.
You just wanted to be out in front.
For me, rock and roll was a superb way of releasing those kind of, excitements, and one could adopt any character at all. And I found that rock and roll is probably one of the newest Western medias, and it interested me, and I wanted to play around with it.
And you had never sung before that time? You'd never fronted a band? You'd never worked?
I still act the songs rather than sing them. I interpret songs, and I thought, well, if the French chanson thing they can get away with sort of talking the songs, then I can get away with talking them.
All it needs is intention.
But, you said there were some things you wanted to change about yourself.
Oh yeah,
what were they?
It's the policy of being a self-invented man is that you sort of strip yourself down and decide what you don't like about yourself and what you won't admit about yourself, and eventually come face to face with it. And then you have to decide whether you're going to try and change it or not. And I'm
What didn't you like
perpetually
about
the one thing I didn't like was being terribly shy, an incredibly shy person. So I overcompensated. I thought if I gave myself an alarming kind of reputation, then I would have to learn to defend myself and therefore come out of myself, sort of.
That's very interesting.
Well, it was sort of, yes, it seemed
Because you'd think
quite
people would
logical.
sneak into making people aware of them, but you said, if I'm aggressive, they're going to get mad at me and I'm going to have to defend them.
Absolutely.
That's very
All
interesting.
change comes from fire.
Yeah.
Two chemicals come together when there's fire under them.
Be right back. Listen, the line that David has about marriage and about having married Angela is that I don't think we fell in love. I've never been in love, thank God. What do you mean by that?
I have a vast capacity to love, but the one time that I found that I was falling in love, it became obsessive to a point where the object of that affection was becoming overblown. It was no longer a real thing. It was becoming my search for some kind of mythological feeling that man is supposed to have, and probably the feeling that man eventually develops for an awareness of God.
You were endowing
Yes,
the person you loved
the
with those
person.
qualities?
There's the old thing about the person goes up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Terrible onus for that person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it's even harder on the other
But
person.
do you feel that you're having loved someone that heavily is a burden?
In love, I
In
think
love,
they're very
being
strong.
in love.
They're very different. I think they're very different indeed.
Loving and being-
somebody truly and wholeheartedly, and being in love are two
Yeah.
very different conditions. I don't think being in love has anything to do with loving somebody.
I see. Oh, I
you read
thought
The
the two were
Prophet?
rather synonymous.
No, I don't think they are at all.
You mean you can love large numbers of people, but you can be in love in an obsessive way that
Obsessive,
can drive
yes.
you out of your
Yes, and it may have
And it
nothing
almost
to
has
do
nothing
with
to do with that person.
not
Yeah.
to care for the other person. It's to satisfy something that needs to be fulfilled in oneself.
But you don't you think you miss a lot by not feeling those passions, those angers?
Yes, one feels the passions of loving somebody,
I see.
where you want to care for them and have them share but share their life.
I see.
And help them achieve what they want to achieve.
Right.
But when you're in
Meeting
love,
their
you want
potential.
them to be perpetually with you. And
I see. That's interesting.
It is the pure form of love, allowing the other person to nurture themselves into their...
is that I was always totally bedazzled by all the art forms of the 20th century, and my interpretation comes out my way of those art forms, from Expressionism to Dadaism, and I try and break it down into some kind of simplistic that can
Form
be
that
passed
can
on.
reach
Even
a
if
lot
the
of people.
definition isn't understood, the feeling that I felt is passed on.
We picked that up, okay, the insight. So
I know that.
From here, man, the first thing, that advantage that you have on your side is that he's coming at you.
Yes.
That's the first thing. So you're using all of whatever he's coming with against him. So if I were coming at you and I would choke you like so,
I'd scream very
there
loudly
you go.
first.
So choke. Just choke.
I'm choked.
Right from here. So the first thing you want to do is distract his mind from what he's doing here. You wouldn't fight him or try to break nothing or try to pull him loose or even try to block.
Yes.
All you have to do is, from it, distract his mind, hit him here in his groin, and that way... You know, kick him on his shit. Anything to distract his mind to release this.
Yes.
Anything to release this. So
I've
once you make
released
your
that.
block, so once you know you haven't made the block. So once you hit him here, his mind is going to hit here, then you will make your block. And then from here, you can come from here, hit the thumbs into the eyes, the knee into the groin, and then down to the head, and elbow break.
Hey, fabulous.
Like so.
I'll just have coffee to follow.
No, come
No,
on.
I don't want it.
No,
What is that?
you don't understand. That is, nobody's incredible.
No, it's very,